Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. Welcome back to another episode of Stop the Scroll. Welcome. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the habits that we have that are impeding our growth. And I say this with a lot of personal experience. I tell all of my clients that, to some extent, you have to be involved. Even if you outsource, you have to be involved in your own social media game. So we're going to talk a little bit about engagement statistics, the importance of consistency, and how we shift our mindset to one of growth. So thinking about engagement, because we know engagement breeds growth. Engagement breeds kind of all the good things that we want our social media to provide us. We know that according to Hootsuite, the average organic engagement rate across all social media platforms, so this is Facebook, LinkedIn, probably TikTok, Instagram, all of the things, is about 1%. If you're lucky, you're going to get a 1% engagement rate. And if you're seeing above 1%, celebrate that. Celebrate it. Fun fact, when we look at growth, and it's funny because I just had a call with a client about this, and I've been working with them for just about 4 years, I want to say. And I don't even remember where they started. I mainly managed their LinkedIn, but they started and it was low, man. They were 6 employees. It was super, super low followers. We're coming up on 2,000 followers in 4 years. Now, some people might say, oh, well, you should have grown 2,000 followers in a year. When you're a business page on LinkedIn, you can expect a 2.5% growth per month. On Instagram, we're talking a 1.5% to 3.5% rate of growth. Facebook, less than 1%, and TikTok, 5% or more. I don't really do much with TikTok, and there are TikTok specialists out there who do plenty with TikTok that I don't feel that I need to be on TikTok to really grow. I sometimes have fun over there because CapCut's really fun to play with as far as templates and everything and video editing, but in general, mostly on Instagram. So here's the dealio. As business owners, we often expect immediate results. We want 1,000 followers yesterday. We want all of the likes, all of the shares, all of the things. But social media growth is a long game. It is a long game, my friends. Long game. We know also the algorithm rewards consistency and engagement over time, not overnight success. And when I see people who, quote unquote, have overnight success, oftentimes I can tell that they've bought followers. You know how you can tell? You can tell someone's bought followers when they have high follower count and super, super low engagement. I'm talking 5 likes on a post when you have 20,000 followers. Also, I can just look through your followers and be like, oh, that's a bot. People with no post whatsoever, with not really any followers, but they're following lots of people. That is a bot. And that's not authentic engagement. And the algorithm doesn't like that much. Doesn't like it. So what are the habits that we have as business owners that are kind of stifling our growth? What are we doing or not doing and that are really, really impacting our growth? And what do we do about it? Obviously we can have a strategy and go towards that. Social media platforms, we know, prioritize consistency. They prioritize regular posting, showing up, posting once a month, and even sometimes posting once a week, depending on the platform, like Instagram, TikTok, once a week ain't going to cut it. Just does not work. That is not consistency. Ideally, on Instagram, you want to be posting 3 to 5 times per week with daily stories. LinkedIn, you want to be posting 2 to 3 times per week. And Facebook, probably 3 to 5 times per week, I'm going to say. if we're tracking TikTok, which my, usual chat GPT outline with the things that I wanted to talk about and all that stuff, it says 4 times a week. So Godspeed. Another thing that's kind of hampering our growth is only selling. Now, yes, we need to sell on Instagram. However, I saw a post this morning when I was, doom scrolling, as one does before I should be getting out of bed. But those selling posts aren't going to get engagement. We know that. We know that it's only going to be they're just going to be lower engagement, which is fine, and probably lower reach. But you know what? If one person converts because of something that you shared, even though it wasn't your top performing post, that is okay. It did the thing that you wanted it to do, right? You're not going to have, and yes, there are people out there that, have hundreds of thousands of followers and get thousands of comments on posts, and they use ManyChat and get all the engagement, and that's great. That's great. If you want to post for growth, we're talking you need to be posting multiple times a day, 7 days a week. And I don't know a single business owner who A, wants to pay $4,000 for that to be outsourced, or B, has the time to manage that. So we need to set our expectations realistically. So we know that engaging content that we want 80% of our content to be is one, we need to hit our users where they are. I saw this really interesting thing also on Instagram recently. That was we need to stop thinking about it as content pillars and start thinking about it as where in our content journey our audience is. So instead of having posts where it's all selling, yes, you want those selling posts, but those are going to be towards the end of your funnel. Those are going to be for your users. Those are probably going to be Instagram stories because we know that those tend to be a little bit more engaging with our current audience. Some of that engaging content that might be more top of the funnel could be reels where you're hitting your audience right in the feels. You want to make them feel seen. You want to make them feel oh my God, they get it. They understand my problem. I need to follow these guys because they get me. Some of that middle of the funnel content might be behind the scenes, storytelling, all that kind of fun stuff that's kind of garnering engagement. Speaking of engagement, one of the things that we tend to do is we ignore engagement. Here's the thing. Engagement, we know, is a two-way street. If you're not responding to your comments, to your DMs, to engaging with others, your account is not going to grow. It's just not going to grow. I can post 2 to 3 times a week, but if I am active on stories every day, if I am engaging with other accounts that I follow, I still see growth. There's kind of an equation for it, but we all have off weeks and we all need to sometimes step away. But when we engage with others are more likely to engage with us. So we also know that the more engagement a post gets in that first hour of it being posted, the more it gets pushed out to our non-followers and to our followers. It's just going to get more reach. So how do we remedy this? You have to spend realistically just 10 minutes a day engaging with other accounts. Go into your Explore tab, go to your followers. If you're outsourcing engagement, have a list of those accounts that you want them to engage with. Give some messaging. That is super easy to do. 10 to 15 minutes, that's all it takes. Another thing hampering our growth is chasing those viral moments. Can we just stop just trying to go viral? Going viral is not a marketing strategy. Everyone wants to go viral. But here's the thing, I had a friend who literally told me that she had a reel get 100,000 followers. And I was like, hey, what did it do for you? And honestly, she could not tell me. She might have gotten a handful of followers. And I've had clients who have had reels blow up like that. And they've gotten a handful of followers. But you want more than that, right? You want more. You want more than just 5 to 10 followers. So instead of focusing on going viral and getting all the views from people who might not even be your ideal audience, just focus on building that loyal audience and building those conversations. Engagement and conversations. And I call these qualitative analytics because they're not always quantitative. are so much more impactful than vanity metrics and like such as views or how many likes you get. And not to say that we shouldn't track those, but we just need to stop placing such a weight on them in terms of what they mean to us. Finally, not looking at our analytics is really kind of hurting us. Like, posting without looking at analytics means that you're probably missing opportunities. I always look at the best performing content for my clients, kind of what time they're seeing the best engagement. So, like, what posting times work best. And some of those engagement trends, we want posts that get saved and shared because those are more likely to be pushed out by the algorithm. But if we don't look at our analytics and, yes, I just said that likes and shares don't really matter. Well, they do in the bigger context of, hey, these posts are getting good engagement. This content is really resonating. That's what we need to track it for. I tend to track these analytics. Most of my clients, I'll look at them once a month, but I tend to look bigger picture once a quarter. That way I can say, okay, this is what really worked. Because also with Instagram, we know that a reel can be a total flop in the first day. And then suddenly maybe the audio is trending and it's oh, woo, woo, woo. How did I end up with a couple thousand views, So being mindful of that and checking regularly as to what that top performing content is, because that's the messaging that is most resonating with your audience. And you need to know that. And you need to know, oh, hey, maybe this post got a lot of views, but the engagement was kind of lower. Maybe visually it was really appealing, but maybe we need a different caption or the caption didn't resonate. So what do we do instead? And I kind of shared some of these ideas, but really, really, really having a sustainable and realistic content strategy that speaks to your audience, knowing who your audience is, my friends. We often think that we know who our audience is. And I was recently on a strategy call and my client was lovely and she's just kind of getting started in business. And she said, well, these are the businesses that I want to work with. And I was like, well, you got to shift that. Because it's not about the, especially if you're in the business to business world, it's not just about the businesses that you want to work with. It's about who in those businesses are going to be your audience. Who are those decision makers that are going to be yes, I want us to work with her? Who is the person? What do they do? Where do they get their information? What do they need from you? What are their pain points? You have to know that. Knowing your audience is what drives your content strategy because you create that content around what your audience needs to hear from you. Focus on your engagement. Even if you are hey, consistency to me looks like twice a week posting, I'm still going to challenge you, log into the app 10 to 15 minutes a day. I don't care what time it is. For me, sometimes I do my best engagement late at night when, I can focus on this. So I'm going to spend 10 minutes while I'm laying in bed before I read and see how to, I'm just going to go through, my followers. I'm going to look at the explore page and just engage with a few posts and leave meaningful comments. When I say meaningful, I don't just mean emojis. Emojis are totally fine. Don't get me wrong. If that's the best you got, but I challenge you to leave meaningful comments. And, I don't like setting goals based around some of these social media vanity metrics. I want 2,000 followers by the end of the year because that's not really a smart goal in the sense that you don't have much control over that. You want it to be something that's attainable. And also I challenge you, if you have those kind of goals, why do they mean so much to you? Why do you care so much about the number of followers versus, hey, I want to set up ManyChat and garner 100 new leads from comments that are now on my email list? Because chances are your email list has a better conversion rate than Instagram. But that's totally different episode here. So think about those realistic expectations and how you reset what you want to see out of your social media and your bandwidth. If you're still DIYing, you got to be mindful of your bandwidth. because you're going to have busy weeks and you're going to have not so busy weeks. And, sometimes when you're DIYing everything in your business, you just got to roll with the punches, my friends. Roll with the punches. I would challenge you to think about these habits, these things that are probably holding back your growth on Instagram, whether it's your consistency, whether it's posting and ghosting, whether it's, not having content that's aligned with what your audience wants to hear from you. And I challenge you to tackle that one thing and just pick that one habit. And over the course of 30 days, just focus on that one habit. If you have questions or want to share what you specifically struggle with, I encourage you to send me a message on Instagram, connect with me on Instagram. I do social media audits. And, if you want me to take a peek under the hood of your social media accounts and just say, hey, here's how you could better optimize it. Here's how you can make sure your content's better optimized. Sorry, I feel a little all over the place on this episode. I'm not going to lie. I know I'm wrapping up here, but literally, I don't know if it's because it's Ash Wednesday and I haven't eaten much today because it's day of fasting, but I feel a little scatterbrained and I apologize. If I seem a little scatterbrained or low energy, it's probably just because I haven't had, my daily carbs. But regardless, if you want some support with your social media, please get in touch. If you are interested in a 12-week social media strategy deep dive, small group consulting, please send me a message. I am launching a new beta program in April. It's going to be great. There's going to be weekly calls. We're going to deep dive into all things social media so that you can do it yourself with confidence. Because I know that not every business owner can or wants to outsource their social media. So we're going to be doing that. And I'm really excited for it. So in the meantime, if you love this episode, please go forth, share, leave a review, subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. And until next time, go forth, create amazing content consistently that speaks to your audience and stops the scroll.